Hello guys, in this video we're going to be having Raphael Warnock, the Senator of Georgia, versus former President Donald Trump. So Warnock, I think, would honestly be a pretty good candidate for Democrats to run in this election. I think he would unite pretty much all of the base, and he did perform extremely well in the Georgia Senate elections in 2020. And in 2022, he finished ahead of Herschel Walker, so I think he's probably easily going to beat Walker in December. And I think Democrats should look at him as a future candidate. Maybe if Biden doesn't want to run, they could run him instead. So let's see how well he does. Colorado, Virginia, over 10% Democratic victories. Unite most of the base here and carry them easily. New Mexico, probably a 9% win for Warnock. Mainly because we do see Latinos kind of becoming a tiny bit more Republican in certain areas in the Sun Belt, and New Mexico would be probably one of them. So we're putting as likely Democratic for now. The state of Iowa and Ohio, putting as likely GOP states. I think Trump would perform pretty strongly here. I don't think Raphael Warnock would have the best Rust Belt appeal. I mean, he is decently populist. Then again, I don't think he would win over that well in Iowa or Ohio. I think they'll still back Trump here. Trump isn't that negative with independents either in these states, so that's an advantage Trump has here. Let's see. State of Florida, putting as likely Republican. I think Trump wins it by about 8 to 9 points, because I do think Raphael Warnock could improve upon Democrats' margins with minority voters in this state. Probably do a bit better with them. Plus, he isn't as bad of a candidate Charlie Crist was statewide in Florida. So I do think it was story Florida in 2022 is more that Democrats really didn't turn out to vote that much. So I think that'll kind of change a bit over time, but Florida's still getting a lot more Republican. That's why it's still likely Republican. Georgia, I think Warnock would win by 3% against Trump. Georgia just hates Trump. I don't think he could win this state against most Democrats. State of Texas, putting as lean Republican. I think Trump only wins the state by about 4% against Warnock. It's just Democratic trends in the state are shifting it more left-wing nowadays, especially in presidential elections. Arizona, I think Warnock could be favored to win the state by 3%. He does perform pretty decent among independent voters. Same with Nevada. Thinks he wins it by about 1.2%. It's getting tiny bit more Republican nowadays, but Democrats still have a narrow advantage here. All right. New Hampshire and Maine. I think they'll both be likely states for Warnock. Don't think Trump will be able to be that competitive in New Hampshire, considering how bad he does with independent voters here. Let's see. Maine second. I think Trump would be slightly favored to win it by a lean Republican margin in this district, just barely. So, let's see here. Now we're down to about 5 more states. Nebraska second. I think Warnock will be favored here by a lean Democratic margin. Minnesota probably by a likely margin, but Trump is decently populist, so he could get a victory in 3 of the Rust Belt states remaining. Michigan, I think Warnock will win here by about 2.5 to 3%. I think he would get very good turnout from the Detroit area, especially in Michigan. Well, Pennsylvania, just narrowly a 1.5% victory against Trump, just because the voters that voted in the midterms in Pennsylvania, Trump did terrible among independent voters there. He was negative 18 in one of the exit polls I saw, but it is an exit poll. It's not perfectly accurate, but then again, it is showing the trend that independent voters are not really backing Trump anymore, and they're kind of against him, favorability-wise. The state of Wisconsin is the one Rust Belt state I still think Trump could maybe win. Maybe against Raphael Warnock, he could get a slight victory by 0.5%. But Warnock would get a victory. He would equal that out with a victory in North Carolina, actually gain in electoral votes. Just because I think he could help with increased African American turnout in the state and flip it against Trump. Trump didn't even win North Carolina by that much in 2020 either. So it's a state he could totally improve upon what Biden did. So overall, I think Warnock will be slightly favored to win against Trump, probably like a 60% favorite, maybe even 50. Yeah, maybe even 65%. Yeah, I would put it as that. So that's my election prediction. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys in the next video.